Welcome, everybody, to episode 1 of The Great Unfollow. She's some woman, her story, her city. I'm Lana Campbell, and today we're diving into the Great Unfollowing. Now, you know that feeling, girls, when a group chat goes quiet, when your best friend suddenly isn't your best friend anymore, and not because of any fight, but because something subtle has just shifted. It's like behind every like, laugh emoji, there's a question. What happens when the thread unravels? Is it heartbreak, betrayal, or maybe just a chance to begin again? Now, ladies, before we dive in, let's do a quick introduction and tell the listeners who you are and what friendship means to you right now. And I'll start with yourself, Genevieve.
Hey everyone, so I'm Genevieve. I'm a mentor to women. I support them energetically, emotionally, physically, and spiritually as they grow and develop and move through life transitions. Really, what does friendship mean to me? Friendship means the world to me. Actually, it means loyalty, it means respect, it means being cared for, and for me, it needs to be reciprocal. It needs to feel like it's whatever's been given has been received is in the same. Aye, definitely two-way.
Mm-hmm.
Aye, and that for me feels important, and it's also for me because of the stage I'm at in my life as a mammy and working and holding life. It's also having enough compassion to recognise that my friends are also busy, and just because we're not always in contact doesn't mean that we're forgetting each other.
Yeah.
Life just gets busy.
That's right. And Sonia, yourself, a wee introduction and who you are and what you're about.
I'm Sonia Blakely. I run the Jigsaw Project here in Derry. It's a group for autistic children and their families. Friendship to me means more to me as I've got older. I think when you're younger, you kind of take friendships for granted.
Yeah.
In the last 10 years, I really appreciate my friends, and I know who my friends are.
Yeah.
You know, when you're younger, I think friends come and go, and then you get married, and then you have babies. And then, especially when you have babies with special needs like me, you can see a lot of shifts. You know, when you're not able to put your coat on and go out on a Friday or Saturday night, then the friendships kind of sometimes fade away.
Because your focus is different.
My focus is different. That's right.
Yeah.
But as I say, my children have grown now, and I'm kind of at that stage where I'm meeting new friends again and picking up old friendships, and it's great. I'm enjoying it at the moment.
Now, see, when we're talking about friendships, now let's be honest, there's in this modern day life that we're in, you know, sometimes friendships, you know, it can be feel a wee bit like a theatre, like a pretend to a lot of people. You know, as you are saying, you know, you know who your friends are now because and we don't have to have loads of friends. No. We don't have to have loads of friends. We have a select few, and that's great, you know. But like we all post smiles on, you know, on the internet, tag each other, add hearts, and call it a connection. But what happens, friendship, when it starts feeling more like a performance rather than a presence? And here in the city, that thrives on real community, and especially here, like in one of these places like the Gashard where we are today, I want to know, are we still showing up for each other, or is it just showing off?
Sometimes I agree with you, it could be showing off. And it's made so much easier to show off because of the internet, the likes of Facebook and TikTok, where you can do just one video or one post and you tag all your friends and you think, well, I've tagged her, I haven't forgotten anybody, but you're not really making that connection.
No,
you
that's
know,
right.
Who's having a bad day and who's not interested in what you're saying. And then they're coming back with hearts and emojis, as you say.
Aye, and it's sometimes a habit of just having to, you know, and as well as that, there's a lot of people look, how many likes did I get? How many hearts did I get? And that's sore because it's, you know, they should be out and doing community stuff as well, like they do here.
Focused. If I'm a big, you'll not see me posting much about my friends or my social evenings or things like I don't. You won't see much of that on my online presence. Because when I'm with them, I'm actually with them and I'm actually enjoying them and I'm there and I'm not a big performative person and I don't really, it's not for me. And sometimes it irritates me when the phones come out and it's like, can we do a photo for the social media story or something? Or know the way you see these ones clinging glasses and cheers and stuff.
And that's a very young thing now. What
It
I
is
call
a
the
young
boomerang or
thing.
whatever. And I think
I
it's,
didn't even know
I
how
actually,
to do a boomerang.
I do think
And
it's lovely,
my
but as long as
sisters
they
love it.
understand that
Aye.
there is that,
There's a
you know,
performative piece to it, and
aye. Do social media expectations, you
I
know,
think it's
make
hard
friendships?
I think it's hard for friendships.
Yeah,
I think it's hard for people that are relying on social media for validation for their worthiness and connection and friendships. And I think for younger people, and I might be wrong, for younger than even me, there's a pressure that their social life must look a certain way in order for them to be accepted in life. And that can be tricky in friendships, I'd imagine.
And what do you think? Say in your 20s, your 40s, and your 60s, right? You know, we're not there yet, but we're
Am I?
well. Oh, that's right. But what does a real friend look like? Do you say your 20s, your 40s, and your 60s? Your 20s, as you say, it was kind of, we took it for a wee bit for
Took
granted.
it for granted, aye.
I was a mama.
In your 40s, you got a wee bit more serious because you had babies. And that night out just wasn't a night out, you know, it was well planned ahead.
That's right.
You know, and you had to have your babysitter and you had to have, sometimes you're financially you couldn't do it, but, and if you were going to use your babysitter money, use your night out money, use your drink money, use your cigarette money, you know, everything. So it wasn't something you could do every week. So when you went out, well, I know when I went out, I made sure I enjoyed myself. I felt like never coming back.
The doors, the gates open and the horse has bolted.
See, I was a mama really young, so my going out kind of days stopped earlier than maybe my friends.
Yes.
And I did notice a difference back then because I was at home and say, you know, that impulsive thing that in your 20s we go, oh, we'll just do a night out.
Aye. And then your friends were still doing that.
I did. No, I would have had conversations with some at the time, so she's have to give me some notice. No, you can't just arrive back from wherever. And
then sometimes
you know,
they forget that. I found sometimes whenever you tell it, and Sonia, you would know this with special needs children as well, and you'll know it from having any children. But people are asking you to do something, and you're going, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. You know, and people didn't understand that. You know, it's not just a. It was, you know, and then. You like being asked. You like being considered for that night out.
It's lovely to be included.
Yes,
even if you
but
can't
then when you
make
keep
it.
saying no, then people think, well, we
She
keep
doesn't
asking
want
them.
to.
She doesn't want to, and that wasn't the way. It was we did want to. We just couldn't.
Aye, you couldn't for one reason or another. That's it.
You know, but
yeah.
do you see, woman? Whenever you're in your 60s, as you say, Sonia, right? We know who our friends are. You do. When you're that wee bit older, you know who your
100%.
friends are.
Yeah.
We've lots of acquaintances. I have lots of acquaintances. I have a few friends that I go, they're my friend. And I hold them in high esteem. I really do. But I have lots of acquaintances. And I'm sure you are both the same.
Yeah.
But I always try to tell my children and my wee girl and other ones around her, it doesn't matter about the crowd you're in. If you've one friend, you've got a whole lot.
That's what I
one
always
good
preach.
friend.
If you've one good friend, you've got a whole lot. But you'd still like to be out within that community vibe of being included within a group and whatever else. And there's lots of things, and I can't say it enough. The gas shared up lots of stuff along on here that you know that we can come, because there are women on their own that don't have somebody to pick up the phone and say, "Are you going somewhere?" But as long as they know there's somebody at the kettle and the boil on here or something, you know, there are groups, there are things happening for people.
Aye.
Here's
And around here.
amazing. For
It is
women.
very, very
It's
good. The gas shared's
amazing
great.
support, and even to bring your wains along.
It's brilliant.
And
Very community based.
it is very community
Very.
oriented. And
They-
friends need that.
They cater to neurodiverse mainstream a lot, which is great. But I notice a lot of loneliness amongst the special educational needs mammies. I do.
There is,
Yes.
of course.
And I also notice a lot of our mammies are single mammies, you know, because it's hard bringing up a child.
Yeah.
So that
It does pull. It can
Aye.
pull. You know,
can.
couples apart, and that too. It definitely does. We've
absolutely.
seen it, Sonia.
100%.
We've seen it. You know.
Aye.
Yeah.
Myself
puts-
included.
We've
And
seen
then
it.
they're left, and when they do get these children to bed, you know,
They're exhausted.
what do you do?
Aye.
Who do you phone? Who do you talk to? Because
There is isolation.
So then
in
that online thing
Yeah.
comes in again, where they
Aye.
think,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'll go and see what's on here,"
Yeah.
and what do you call it, the doom scroll. And you hear a whole lot of people saying now the doom scroll. You know.
There is doom scroll.
There is
and
doom
there
scroll.
is people that seek the connection through loneliness online.
Yeah.
And I would agree with the isolation with mummies with special needs. I do have autistic children as well, and I have 6
Yes.
kids. in total. And there's definitely been periods of isolation.
Oh,
And
completely.
there's definitely been periods of loneliness.
Yeah.
And periods where I didn't feel I could share everything that was hard
Aye.
because I was holding it. But
Yeah.
that's
And you
what
didn't
women
know who was
do.
reading either.
We
I
all
used to
do.
think, what if it's a social worker reading that, or
Aye.
they'll be at my door tomorrow,
You
or
know,
something like
well,
that.
look, we're trying to let women know out there, you know, that whenever the offline thing stops, there's community creative circles that are, and here's one to begin with. Get in contact with the gas yard. There's lots of stuff that
Oh,
you
there's
could be
loads going
doing,
on in
you
here.
know. Now, romantic heartbreak. This part we're going to go grieving the friend that's still alive. Right? It is a tough one. Romantic heartbreak, it gets all the attention. It gets the sad song. It gets the sympathy. It gets the tub of Ben and Jerry ice cream, in case I'm not allowed to say what type of ice cream. But there's no excuse for an ice cream. You don't need an excuse for a tub of ice cream, be fair, come on. But it does. The romantic, you know, heartbreak, it does. It gets all the attention. It gets all the sympathy. And it gets all the, you know, oh God, you know. But whenever you lose a friend, you know, if that breaks your heart, you're expected just to shrug it off, get up and get on with it.
And
That's,
it is
you know,
a deep grief.
it is.
It's a process of losing somebody that you loved.
Aye.
That
We,
had a
I
real-
mean, we talk
yeah.
about exes
Yeah.
all the
Aye.
time,
Yeah.
but we rarely talk about our friends that we really grieve. And I think I'd have grieved some friends more than I'd have grieved an ex-boyfriend,
I've definitely
to be fair.
had deeper
too.
grief.
Aye.
I've had deeper grief than ex-boyfriends for sure.
Well, I think you talk
yeah.
more to your friends than you do your partner.
You
know,
do?
You're going on nights out and you're talking. You're confident as well as your
Aye.
friend.
Aye.
So you share everything from your children and then their milestones and your times out where your partner, well, me, I try to avoid them.
I mean, I have a friend, and I rarely see her anymore, Margaret, and I love her to bits. And if somebody was saying to me, best friend in the world, I would say her, Mags. And I don't see her.
Why
I
do you not
don't
see
see
her?
her.
Is she working or you're working or
Life took us different
I
directions.
see that?
And that's
And you
it.
miss her.
And I do miss her. And I know
Aye.
she misses me. And she went through illness and whatever else. And I felt like I wasn't there for her.
Uh-huh.
But my life was tied up with
Other
things,
things.
necessities that I had to deal with as well.
Yeah.
And it really eats me, you know.
Aye.
But she understands, and I understand that
Yeah.
our lives changed. I'd
Yeah.
done different things to her, and she
Aye.
did different things to me.
Yep.
We had different family commitments.
Yeah.
You know, and we're still for the last couple of years still trying to get out for a cup of tea.
I have a
you
friend
know.
like that too, and at the minute, and every time we try to meet something and we miss each other, we let each other, I'm missing you.
Aye.
I am really trying to find time, and no,
Aye.
we are genuinely trying to find time.
And
but
I have other
life
friends, which I
pulls
would
us.
call my best friends as well,
Yeah.
because they're very good. As you said earlier on, you know, we were chatting before this, and you were saying about you're very blessed in the friendships that you have.
Yeah.
And I am very blessed in the friendships
you
that I
have
have,
I am
and
too,
they
I
are
am.
good friends, you know. But tell me this, Sonia, how did you feel when you lost maybe your closest friend?
I didn't take it good anyway. I spent a lot of time nearly dissecting what happened. You know, shoulda, coulda, would it have made any difference?
Aye.
I got angry at times because I thought, you know, we had spent so much time together and done so much together, knew so much about each other, deepest, darkest secrets. And then all of a sudden, well, in my opinion, somebody else come on the mix, not one, maybe a couple of people, and I felt as if I was pushed aside.
Yeah.
So I could have, I could have withdrawn back too, because I could have felt, well, I'm not feeling included in here anymore.
Aye.
You know, and that annoyed me.
Yeah.
And then it ended up just breaking the friendship.
Yeah.
And even to this day, I still feel sad about it.
And you see, sometimes them type of things as well has happened because, as we spoke earlier on, life is taking another turn,
Aye, it
and
takes
then
different
you know
directions.
they're taking us different directions, and they're able to do things that maybe we're not, or you're able to do things that they're not, and you know, and it is that growing apart. But maybe it wasn't the end of a friendship; it was just like a change,
A reset
change in it,
sometimes
like
happens, and then
Aye.
a mature conversation
Aye.
happens, or a reflection,
Yeah.
or do you know?
And what
like
about-
there was one friend that we'd sort of not. There was a dynamic between. There was a group, and I invited. There were the four of us would have been included together, and then something happened that created a bit of a separation. And but one of them was particularly close to me. But there was a moment where we would have done this regular thing every Christmas together, say.
Aye.
And I invited her to do, and she says I can't because, and I felt really deeply hurt. And I was like, do you know what? I'm actually not comfortable with this
Yeah.
and not as comfortable as I thought. And it brought up a lot of stuff for us, and we had to really heal. And we made the choice to heal through that, though, as friends, because we've been together in friendship for a very long time.
Yeah.
So we made the decision. Let's have the hard conversation. What is really going on here? What's really hurting us?
Aye.
And it was really difficult.
Did
But
did you share your grief with anybody, Sonia, at the time? You know, was there anybody that took your pain seriously, basically, about how you felt, or did you keep it all to yourself?
No, I
Or
didn't keep it all to myself. I actually shared it with a person one night after a couple of drinks. I kind of said, but the way I said it was, you know, I don't want to go into everything I said.
yes,
Thanked for everything he had done because I did appreciate what was done.
Yeah.
This person did a lot for me. But I said, you know, I do love you as a person, but that's it now.
aye,
You know, because I felt we had gone as far as we were going to go.
yes,
Because other people had come into the equation.
aye,
And you don't have to like everybody else that comes into your new group. And I didn't. It's like you saying, I didn't feel comfortable with these other people. They weren't my people.
yes,
You know, where I was comfortable when it was only very small
yeah,
equations. So we've moved on, but we do occasionally
aye,
speak. It's not done forever,
yes,
you know, but it was sad.
aye.
You know, it was sad as
Aye.
see a relationship breaking up.
As I
It
say, I
is.
would
Aye.
grieve.
I
I would
actually
grieve.
think it is
Aye, 'cause
sadder
it is a
than
relationship.
it's like there's a real there is a real sadness when you lose a friend like that. That's
Aye.
hard. That's hard to speak to, and there's a wee element of like there is a lack of support maybe around that grief as well because it's not really talked about or understood.
And that's exactly the question. What about you? Did you tell anybody about it, your breakup, and did they take it
I-
seriously, or did they take the
What-
pain that you were feeling seriously?
I was able to share with like I was able to share, and I was able to share directly with the person that I'd lost,
Same
that
with
I'd
Sonia?
chosen. I was able to share directly, and there was conversation between us, and we were both able to make some peace in that and just let that be. And then
aye.
the girl I was speaking to about there, where the discomfort arose for us, we actually our friendship deepened, I think, because of that discomfort.
Yes.
Because we were brave enough to not make it about anybody else and
Yeah.
just make it about ourselves. And we did, and that I think was deeply healing. And to be honest, that's the kind of friendships I'm interested in.
And that helped rebuild.
Aye.
That helped
It
rebuild your
rebuilt,
trust. Where I mean, you rebuilt the trust and you've rekindled. Whereas you have decided,
Yeah.
you are still friends.
Was
You
me
can
that
still.
did it?
Aye.
I think there's a lot of stubbornness with me, but
Aye.
I would say, no, you know, that's it. Burn me once.
You stubborn, Sonia?
Me,
No,
yeah,
not
imagine.
at all. Not at all.
Don't be
Yeah.
telling anybody. I just thought, no, I'd be wary. You know, when you burn me once, I'm the kind of person thinks, right? I do forgive. I'm a very forgiving person, Lana, you know.
You
To a
are?
to a certain degree, but I'm very stubborn. I would think, no, I'm not putting myself through that again because of other things that had happened. You know, when I was burned, I thought, no, I can't go through that again. Should it be male, female,
Well,
whatever?
if you know things like this that we're sitting here chatting about, we are very blessed that we have our friends. But there,
Yes.
is, I can reiterate that there are women out there, and hopefully maybe they'll be listening to this, and you know they'll think, you know, there is somewhere in the garage. I can go to the garage. I can pick up a woman's group, take up a hobby, something.
Aye.
You know, if there's something that you really like to do,
Particularly if you're feeling lonely
aye,
in your
pick up
in-
a hobby and go and
Aye,
find
aye,
out who does what
yeah.
you like doing, and go
Aye.
and
For the
enter a group.
company, you don't
That's
have to
it.
be super
And you,
talented.
aye,
like.
and as well as that, you don't have to be their best friend. It's somewhere that you go, you have a bit of crack, and you go home again.
you feel
know?
nourished in that sometimes, and sometimes that's enough.
All right, okay. So I'm getting told off for rattling my paper. I'm sorry. I'm going to put it down.
You'll not be your friend anymore.
I know. But look, basically I can't even live it down because I can't say it. So what we're going to talk about now is red flags and reconnections, right? We've talked about heartbreak, and healing starts with awareness, right? Because friendships, like relationships, have red flags, and sometimes we see them waving, and sometimes we choose not to. So let's shift from the grief to the growth, right? How do we spot signs, set the boundaries, and rebuild the circles that actually lead us instead of draining us? Now, what are the early red flags? that we ignore in friendships? Genevieve, maybe you could.
I feel some friendship groups would maybe not. I think for me, loyalty and respect are important, and I'm holding you safe. If you're my friend, I hold you safe, no matter what room I'm in, and no matter who I'm talking to. And if I'm in a space with a group of women, no matter where they are, and they're not holding the women that aren't in the room safe, I'm not. I don't want to be part of that.
Yeah.
And that's the red flag for me every time, because that says I can't trust these people.
Yep.
And that's me. And some people are comfortable with that or not aware that maybe they're even participating in that kind of
Yeah.
behaviour. But for me, that's like teenage stuff. Leave it at school. We're
Forget
women
about it.
now.
That's it.
Yeah. So
And what about Sonia? I know you says you can be a bit stubborn.
Well, I
just
can be
a wee bit.
stubborn.
But when do you know it's time to walk away or to repair?
I'm a great observer, I would say. And if I'm with a group of people, and even if it happens to be one of my friends, and I listen how they're talking. Now, if they're telling me somebody else's business or talking bad about somebody who they were out with at the weekend, I think, well, if you're talking about her
You're
and
talking
telling
about
me
me.
your business, well, you're talking about me too, and
Yeah.
I don't like that. You know, there's no loyalty, as you say, Genevieve,
Yeah.
loyalty. That's not loyalty.
no,
That's
it's
not respect.
No, it's definitely
Yeah.
You know,
not.
I like confidentiality. It's a
Me
big
too.
thing for me.
Yeah.
And how do you think women could rebuild circles after the trust break?
Maybe talk to the person who broke your trust on a 1-to-1. You know, not when I think sometimes friends act differently when there is a big group.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's your best friend, they're going to act different because they're trying to maybe include everybody. Whereas you have that special friendship. You're this person.
Yes, there are people
So-
that try to include everybody. There are
Aye.
also people that try to impress everybody. They're all trying to
100%,
appreciate.
yes.
And there comes that theatre thing
Of
that we were
course,
chatting
aye.
about earlier on,
Aye.
that, you know, a performance or a friendship kind of a
Yeah.
thing. You know, and it does come to that. But there are people that try to be inclusive and try and include
of
everybody.
course, and that's a
it
really
does-
lovely quality.
It is a
to
lovely
have.
quality, but sometimes if
Yeah.
there's other people there that can't
Yeah.
do that, they
That's
feel
right.
inadequate about it. You know.
Aye, they don't feel that they can.
Aye.
And it's not people being rude or
Aye.
unkind. It's
But then
literally-
there
yeah.
are people that you
Yeah.
know they just what is it? They have a face for
It's like a tall
everyone.
clock.
What, a physical
You
what?
get the
Girl
guild tall
talk
clock is what they used to say. I know it was a great
But-
one day.
For physics.
Aye, but repair and trust, it just comes, like you say, having the conversation with them.
Aye.
So sometimes I think, no, like with the social media part and thing, there can be passive aggressive stuff there
Yeah.
that shows up in maybe some friendships or stuff. And you're like going, just reach out to the people or reach out to the person if there's something that
Aye,
you
that's
want to
what I'm
repair.
saying.
And then even just too, isn't it, like wherever when we do that reach out to somebody, just giving them the opportunity, you know,
To explain.
to explain.
Because I would be an overthinker. And I think she's doing this because of this and this and this. And sometimes when you go directly to the person, it's not like that at all. They weren't
No,
thinking
that's
like that.
right.
Definitely
Sometimes
not.
conversations need to be
Aye.
had, and sometimes when we don't have those conversations, things fester.
They fester, we
And people overthink.
Overthinking.
Or
And
we're
as I,
saying
as,
things.
as I say, is like people run a film in their own head as to what they
Aye.
think's happening, and it's not the reality of it at
That's
all.
very true.
And text messages can be very blunt.
Because you cannot tell what the person's feeling
Thinking
so many times.
you can
I've had
read
this-
something one way, the way you're feeling one day,
Aye.
and be happy the next, you know, sad one day,
Yeah.
and you'll read it and think it's well cheeky, and then the
Maybe
next
she
you go,
thinks
oh,
she's
maybe they
talking to
didn't, maybe they didn't think that at all.
Aye, well, that's true. Text messages
Aye.
definitely can be
There's no emotion
misunderstood.
there.
I know.
Aye, and so a wee voice note is better. But then if you're somebody like me that might be in a hurry through stuff, and I send a voice note, I can sound wild cheeky in
Cheeky.
my voice note.
trying
But
to
I
get
think
it
then
we
I'm
can sound
sending
quite
an
harsh. Our
apology.
accent can sound quite harsh.
And
You
so
know,
then I
it
send
does.
a message and go, I hope you don't find me cheeky. I wasn't meaning to be.
I know, just directing them on hurry.
Oh,
you know.
God.
What small acts, girls, of help with loneliness, and you know, what small acts could we do to help with loneliness in the city?
Well, promoting the gas yard, as we were
Aye.
doing there, is
Yep.
a good thing because I don't live far from the gas yard, and it's only really in the last year and a half that I realised how much they do. You know, they were closed for a while, they've opened, and they've opened by some fantastic programs.
That's incredible.
And so I think you have to help yourself too. Maybe if you're lonely, go and see what's out there. Don't wait for somebody to come to you. You know, and social media has everything really. I know it's good and bad, but if you go on and you put on hobbies, or a lot of stuff comes up.
Yeah.
You know, so there's always something there.
And you know what? I think there's a lot to be said by gathering in groups, not necessarily your lifelong friends or anything else. I mean, like
I
women's
agree.
groups,
Yeah.
active groups,
Yeah.
in the community, even going and volunteering within something that you want to do. Like some of the people would have come to your group,
right,
Sonia, and
aye.
volunteered. You get fed it and you go and you volunteer.
Aye.
You're giving back. And sometimes
100%.
I have always found that if I'm giving or doing something for somebody, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
And that really is a big thing for me.
Aye.
I get it's a nice energy to get back when you
It is,
and
it's
it's not
beautiful.
I'm giving him. It's not. It's just I give him because I can.
Aye.
When I can, I will.
Aye.
But she could come to one of the groups. You can volunteer. You can. There's so many things
You can
that you
be
can
You
proactive
have
do.
to
with
reach
it.
out.
You have to reach out.
Because a lot of people put on this happy persona and they have this lovely house and lovely home and they go
Aye.
home and they're lonely.
Aye,
They
that's
have
right.
had a
And
few
some
mamas
people are
come to me.
embarrassed to say
Aye,
that
they-
they're lonely, or they're ashamed to say that they're
Of
lonely.
course.
So it's
Aye.
helping them feel safe enough that they can. So
Yeah.
places like here
Aye.
are very good like that. They just open up various programs, various things, and just say, "Come along."
It's like what we should all do. It says here like a digital detox. We should all leave the phones down. It's a challenge for all you listeners out there. A digital detox. Even if you got like the likes of your Facebook or your Instagram or whatever, take it off your phone. I mean, you don't have to close down your account.
That's right. You can just
You
take
can
it off
take
the
it off
phone,
your
that's
phone,
right, yeah.
close down your app, remove the app. For a week or a couple of
can't
days.
breathe.
No, I know. Here, get Sonia a wee bit of oxygen
Do you
there.
know, I shared a post the other day
Get
though about
oxygen.
the social media thing, and I was like, people blame the social media for the lack of connection, but that's not the lack of connection. It's people's not being responsible about their use of,
Of the
social,
social media.
and they're
Aye.
using it as a tool. They can choose how they use it, what way they use it.
Or you can get
how
sucked
they
in and go
connect.
down a rabbit
Aye,
hole. I'm
but-
guilty.
Every night
Aye.
I'm
I'm
sitting down
guilty,
doing it.
But
Aye.
really, like, it's not social media isn't the problem. It's a tool. It's our use of it. So it's up to us how we use it.
I mean, in the very beginning, I only used it was the likes of whenever I was promoting, nights for yourselves or whatever, to raise money for the Jigsaw Project,
Yeah.
Orthofoil Search and Rescue, whatever else. If I had events going, it was a great tool then.
It is a great tool
But
still
then
for that.
sometimes it's basically overused or used incorrectly. And then I went away, I had gone away for it for a good wee while because of family,
Aye.
illness and whatever
Yeah.
else. I'm going to go back on now. It doesn't have the same buzz or anything on it. It's and the Waynes have moved on to their Instagram and then do whatever else. And there's always something moving all the time.
Yeah.
But we do need that digital detox. We do remove it from your phone. And this is a challenge. We're going to be hoping people
I
do
think
this.
that's a great idea. I do
You
that
know,
every so often. I release
Take
the
it out
apps
of your
from
phone
my
because
phone
even then
because
when you pick it up, you go,
Yeah.
oh, it's not there. Put it down again.
Yeah.
Even though you're itching, they maybe go on and find something.
Yeah, boy, it's
Don't
like I'm
do
missing
it.
something.
Don't,
First thing in the morning,
don't
last
do
thing
it.
at night.
Aye, don't do it. Leave it. And then maybe for a cup of tea in the morning or your lunchtime before you open it or tea time at night, leave it.
And read
Tea
a book.
time at night, do it. And then get up and do something that we haven't been in the house. And then believe me, I have a whole lot that I could be doing in the house if I took that off my
Well,
phone.
I can just tell you this one thing. My partner doesn't do social media,
Nor mine.
Mine's the
doesn't do
same.
internet, doesn't do anything,
mine.
right? And at
That's
Christmas
something,
time,
mine's the
he
same.
came down the stairs. He has a wee phone. The phone costs 36p. It's that old date, right? That's how long he has it. 36p.
The phone costs
I know.
36p.
Honest to God. And he came down the
thought you
stairs
were
and
gonna
said,
say
check your phone quick. And I thought, oh my God, why something's happened. Happy Xmas, all the one word. He said, that took me an hour and a half to do that. I said, you mightn't have bothered yourself. No, hasn't a clue.
Oh, brilliant.
But you know what? I think he goes
He's
to bed
right.
at night and snores.
Aye, sleep.
I go
He's
to bed and
right.
think, oh, I wonder is she back on again? What's she saying about Tom? And if there's an argument, you're sucked down. I'd be watching.
No,
I don't even
you
know
see,
the
I don't
person.
That's like your
I don't do the
standards
spray.
now, as it's Sonia.
I don't do the Jerry
No,
Springer
I don't
stuff.
do that
No,
either.
I do.
I use it with
Oh my
purpose.
God.
I
Aye.
literally use it to speak about the things that I'm
I
reflecting
will,
I
on.
do that
I will
too.
put funny things up on
Aye.
it, and then I don't take myself
Or
too
do-
seriously. As if
yeah.
you've seen
Aw.
pictures of me through my
Yeah.
Facebook,
I do
um,
use it for work. It does. It supports my living
Aye.
really well.
So
I'm grateful for it for that.
I volunteer over at the Grove Theatre Group as well.
Aye.
We do the shows and whatever else, so it's used for that as well.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
But I
Because
would
that's
agree.
support,
Jigsaw
that's
too. It's
supporting
good for
them
that.
ways, it
Detox
is.
is important.
But a
I
detox
agree.
is important.
Yeah, I
You
would
know.
agree. It helps.
Well, look, we've come nearly to the end. Now, it says friendship isn't always the steady, picture perfect bond that we post online. We all know that's true.
Yes.
And sometimes it's messy, unpredictable, and even it can be painful, which we touched on earlier on. Now, sometimes you outgrow each other, but sometimes life simply pulls you in different directions. But every friendship, even the ones at the end that shape the kind of woman that you become, the unfollow might not be a rejection.
That's
You know,
so
it
true.
is, life is busy.
It is. It literally is.
People's
Life is
lives are busy.
I think there's compassion for women and everything they hold. Think of everything you hold individually in your lives. Every other woman's holding the same thing. So
Yes.
why have we got this unrealistic expectation
Of
that she
everybody-
should
of each
drop
other?
of each other?
Yeah.
Because
I-
we're holding it about ourselves, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
100%. But can I just say too, in my experience, I was friends with somebody 35 years ago, and it was kind of off on, off on.
Aye.
And you know, we reconnected a few years back, and we're just as if
Nothing
had
ever happened. Isa would be
Aye.
me,
Never
my friend. I
left.
know that would happen
Aye.
with
And
when we meet
you
up.
going out and you go in here, and it's so that happens too. You know,
Yes.
it's
That's lovely
not,
though,
it's
isn't
not
it?
the end of the world.
You've gone,
Aye.
you've
It
reared
is.
your family, you've got them
Aye.
up, and for us, not all of them leave the nest, as we all know,
Yeah.
because they need different
Yeah.
support than
Yeah.
than those children that
Yes,
do
that's
get up
right.
and go
Yeah.
on and go away, you know.
Yeah.
But then you can rekindle because they're at the
Yeah.
same kind of level as
That's
you
right.
as well. So you rekindle and
Aye.
going, oh, me and you can go for that cup of tea now.
Aye.
But you sit
Me
and
and you
talk
can
about
do
all the
that.
things
I have
that
a
happened
friend.
a while years back,
Aye.
Aye.
and you never get. Oh, well, I don't know. I never get bored of getting a laugh because we're
Aye.
friends with my partner as well. And we could all meet up.
That's
and
right.
And we always get a laugh. We
Aye.
always get.
And
I
that's
think,
important
Is
too.
that the way I was? Oh my God, did I do that?
Aye.
Be so sensible
I
now
know.
and stubborn.
But that brings us back to something earlier on. You know, it might not be an unfollow. Maybe just it's just a not be rejection whenever it comes to
Aye.
that distance between your friends.
right.
You know, it might be just a wee bit of release that for us to do the things that we need to do, and a quiet act of self-respect. Maybe because you have to do different things. Pause, let you breathe again.
I like that word, self-respect.
Aye.
I think it takes a lot to walk away from a what you would call a good friendship, and a lot of times it comes down to self-respect. And
Yes.
no matter how hard it hurts, and sometimes it does,
Aye.
when you look back, you think, well, that just wasn't right for me. You know, if I was there now, I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
I'm a different person. I've moved on, and
Yeah.
Aye.
you know, self-respect.
It's
is a
like
big
this
thing.
episode called, you know, She's Some Woman. And she's some woman, it doesn't mean that you're never going to be lose people. You're not going to be hurt. You're not going to be. It's about how you deal with it. And you get up and you get an understanding of the woman next door is not always your nemesis or your enemy. She's gone through something too. So
Yeah.
we
It's
a
all have
learning
to support. We
process.
have to support each
Yeah.
other.
It's about supporting each other. and
Support
I
each
think
other.
compassion plays a big part
Yeah.
in it as well. Just
And
having some
understanding. As you get older, you
Yeah.
understand more, don't you?
You definitely do. Like when you're maybe 17 to 25 or whatever, even
don't
right up to
care.
30, you're maybe a wee bit more self-centered in your
Yeah.
expectations around friendships.
Yeah.
And maybe a wee bit more demanding and bratty, you know, and then we
Aye.
grow. Well, we like to think we grow.
Aye.
And
It's like finding
changes.
yourself.
Aye.
And when,
It's
you,
like
when
finding
your old
yourself.
bones give on and you say, I've got this, and your friend says, because I've got that too, and you'd be thinking, God,
Empathising with
connect that
arthritis.
with?
I seen something the other day and it was hilarious. And it was like a picture of R2D2, right?
Aye.
And it says in Japan, and they says they dip things in gold that are broken. This is me now, R2D2.
Very good.
This is me now.
Definitely me.
Anyway, it's just basically what we're talking about today, and it's just turning our loss and the lessons of love and boundaries, about bravery, the kind that reminds us that whenever you're never meant to do anything on your own. You aren't meant to do anything on your own, but sometimes we're afraid to ask for help, aren't we?
Aye, there's
Oh, I can
definitely
do
a
it on my own.
pride.
I would be afraid, that's
Aye.
how stubbornness, and me would be afraid to ask for
We're
help.
afraid to.
It's hyper independence too, isn't it? It's like
It is.
nobody else can really do this for me, so I'm going to keep.
Mm.
Or we've never felt the support,
No.
do you know? And so we think
That's-
I'm not supported,
I'm
but
going to get judged for asking for this help.
asking, there's a weakness in
Aye.
asking for the help, all sorts of reasons.
Well, look,
Yeah.
I'm going to say to the listeners out there today, if the chat that we were having here today, if we've touched on anything or had an nerve with anything with you, reach out. And we can't say enough that the gas yard have all answers for a lot of things, and if they don't have the answer, they can point you in the right direction. There is lots of things to be here. The wee cafe here's lovely too, isn't it?
Oh, it's
cafe
Even if
lovely.
you wanted to come and have a wee meet up
Yeah.
and a wee
Aye.
cup of tea, you could make
cup
it
of
a
tea.
regular, go for a walk and meet up here.
We do that with parents sometimes, you know, we come on, meet up for a week,
Lovely.
and whatever.
Really, really lovely. So reach out. Don't be sitting there on your own. Reach out. Reach out to that friend that you keep thinking, oh, I'll meet them for a coffee. I'll meet them. I'll meet them. I'll meet them. go and do it.
And maybe if
Go
there's
and do
one
it.
you've got a bit of regret around,
Yeah, have a chat
maybe
to them,
reach
and
out
maybe
as
they
well.
have
You
the
might
same
be
regret.
surprised.
They
They
might
might
have
have
this.
softened, and
Yeah.
you can meet somewhere in the middle.
Might have triggered something on you to think about something, you know.
Aye. So send that message, reconnect,
Mm-hmm.
or come along to one of the women's events here in the gas yard. And there's always a kettle on and a seat waiting for everybody. And we know
Always.
that ourselves. All right. Join us next time, folks. Girls, thank you very, very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Lana.
Thank you.
And thanks to Gas Yard for asking us to come on and do this, because it's quite an honour to be able to help and put something back into our community as well.
Brilliant.
And just try and the conversations we're having here today, we just hope we've touched on something, and the woman out there that can make a reconnection either with your friends, find a local group, find a hobby, do something, but just
don't sit
reach
on your
out.
own.
Don't sit on your own. There's always somebody that's going to help you, and it might not be the person that you expect it to be. It might not be the person that you want it to be. It mightn't be that friend that their life's got busier, so you might have to speak to somebody else. So definitely do
friends.
that. Yep.
And sometimes your new friend becomes your lifelong
Best friend.
ride or
Oh,
die.
100%.
Do you know?
100%. Now, you can join us next time on She's Some Woman, Her Story, Her City, when we're going to be talking about what happens when women stop apologising for taking up space.
Oh, it's a big topic in my work, mentoring women. That's a juicy one.
I know.
I look
So-
forward to that one now.
And so join us next time. She's Some Woman, Her Story, Her City, for episode 2 is called Glow Up Meltdown, where the women of Derry trade their filters for honesty.
Oh, because
So it'll be good, Sonia. I'm telling you. And we'll take all the talk about beauty standards actually, and body confidence, and learning to love the reflection that looks back. The green facials and all. I'll have plenty to say about them. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope that we have reached out and touched somebody today. Get in touch.
thank
Reach
you,
out.
Lana.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Lana.
Thanks, Sonia.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Genevieve.